Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're going to continue our discussion, and today we're going to talk about the main function. So, we've been talking about functions, and we've made our own functions if you've been following along. And so, now we're going to talk about the main function. And so, the main function is you could think of it as an entry point into an application. So, you gotta understand that software, like let's say a software that you would like to use, WhatsApp or TikTok, right? It's made up of many different modules, um, and in those modules you'll have many different functions, right? But you got to think that okay, when I click on the app icon to start it up, where in the code is that where is that startup happening, right? And so that would usually be the main function. So we're going to introduce the concept of a main function. Okay, so we're going to use the main function programming structure going forward. The reason for using the main program structure is to prepare for our object oriented programming similar to Java and C++. So in Java, there's also a main function, and in C++, there's also a main function. Um, when a Java or a C++ program is executed, the first function that is run is the main method. Similarly, we are going to structure our program so that this is the case with all our files as well. So, example one, write a program that asks the user for a positive integer greater than zero and then print all of the factors of that number. So here we gotta ask the user for a number and check to make sure that they entered a positive integer greater than zero. Determine all the factors, print all the factors. Other algorithm. What functions would you write? Okay, so here is just an example. So um, we wanted to do a few things, right? We wanted to get the positive integer. So in the red, we have a function called get positive int. And let's just go through line by line. So we have a variable called gogo equals true. And so while true, and then we have something in a try except block. So inside this block, we say we get the input. So we want to try to get the input uh, from the user, and and we want to make it an int. And if that number is greater than zero, gogo equals false. Else, print. So we want to tell the user that they need to give us a number greater than zero, and then if they don't even give us a if something happens wrong in here, then we want to print you need a positive integer greater than zero. Okay, and then we return the number. And then we have the function to find factors, right? Because we want to determine all the factors. Okay, so find the factors, and then it takes a parameter, num. So we have a list factors, right? It's a list because on the right hand side we have the square brackets, so it's an empty list to start out with, and we're gonna loop from one to num plus one. So we want to start from one. So we want to actually what we want. So what is happening is that we want to test numbers from one to num plus one, because if you remember range, it gives us the range from one to this number here, but not including this number. So if we want to include the actual last number, we have to go one plus one. Okay. So then inside here we say the if the division of the number divided by um, I, which I could be one or two or anything up until the number. So if the division uh, of the number by I is equal to 0, meaning that, sorry, if the remainder of the division, yes, if the remainder of the division of the number divided by I is equal to 0, then it is a factor, right? So then what we do is that this line here says factor plus equals I plus equals list at index I. Okay. And then we return factors. And then here is the main program. Here is where, so if we think about this in a whole Python file, we have two functions that we've created, and now we're utilizing what we've created. So we say n equals uh, whatever this function is going to return us, which returns us a num. And then we have a variable called all factors, and it gets it gets it gets a list of all the factors of n, and then we print the factors of n are, and then in a for loop we want to print all the factors. So for factor in all factors, print factor. So yeah, okay. So rewrite the program in the previous slide using a main function. Okay. So here is the original, right? Here's the original that we had before. Now with a main function, here we have the same functions that we've created: def, find factors, def get positive int. But then we have a main function, def main, and inside main is uh, everything that was in here. So you see that everything that's in the main function is just we just put it we put everything from here into the main function, right? So the content of the main function is all the code that was originally part of the main program. And then after that, so now we have three functions and the main function at the end. And then to start the program, all we do is just write this line here, main and then brackets. And the main program now consists of one function called uh, main, right? So when we call main, then we go inside here and then we call get positive here. We call find factors, and we call print, and we do all of the calculations in there. Okay. So you try. So this is something you guys can try on your own. Um, your program is a simple simulation. Start by asking the user how many random numbers they wish to generate. So this is similar to your formative. Next, generate that many numbers between 1 and 1,000. For each generated number, test to see if it is even or odd. At the end of the simulation, the total number of even numbers and odd numbers should be reported. Loop until the user chooses to quit. All user input needs to be completely tested as correct. Okay, and so here are the specifications. So I'll provide the notes again as well as along with the videos, and we will and then I will leave this for you guys to try, and then I will write a solution for it, and um, it'll be available on Friday. And what I've also done is that I've created a repository of all the code that I write either in the Friday lecture, or if any code that I write during my recordings, I'll have it all available and available for you guys to access in a private repository. All I need from you is that I just need your email address as associated um, with your GitHub account, and then I can add you guys so that you guys can view uh, the codes. And the code is not to be shared, so it's I made it private for a reason. So okay, so that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next one.